Know what I'm saying? But we got this right here. We got the fight against himself, Conor McGregor. Wow, I didn't subscribe to this nigga. But what's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Jay Willie Silly, man, a.k.a., man, Mr. Take It Easy for you end up life easy. But make sure y'all follow my Instagram and Twitch in the description down below. Everything you need to know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. I said I'm never going to do a Madden 25 franchise ever again. That's exactly what I said, so not lie on my name. I said I'm never going to do a franchise again. I'm not even getting Madden 26. You know what I mean? Franchise, I was over with. Franchise will never, ever go on again. I told y'all this, man. I told y'all little jackasses, man. I told y'all don't play with me. I said be active. I said join at the appropriate time. And guess what? I guess you thought I was playing. So no more franchise, all right? You know what I'm saying? No more freaking franchise. And no more Detroit becomes human, all right? I'm talking to my Twitch stream. No Detroit becomes human. No Red Dead Redemption. Nigga, I got a PS5 to play PS5 games, nigga. I ain't getting no PS5 to play PS4 games. No Detroit becomes human. No Red Dead Redemption. None of it.
Conor McGregor is not even in the top 10 greatest UFC fighters of all time.
What, nigga? Hey, bro, stop playing on my nigga Conor McGregor name, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all heard what this nigga just said? Like, I ain't gonna lie. He not in my top 5, bro, but 2 division champ, like, hey, bro, like, did this nigga just say that? Did you just say that Conor McGregor is not top 10 greatest UFC fighters of all time? Are you a jackass, bro? You know what I'm saying? I ain't got him in my top 5. I told you, my top 5, bro, John Bones Jones. You know what I'm saying? Told y'all John Bones Jones, GSP, freaking, I like Mighty Mouse, Anderson Silva, and Khabib, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But he is number one.
You know what I mean? But what the freak is
Conor McGregor is not even in the top 10 greatest UFC fighters of all time. But he is number 1 as far as overall impact on the sport of mixed martial arts. He was the first fighter in history to hold 2 UFC championships in 2 different divisions. The top 7 most watched UFC fights of all time are his last 7 fights. And he is the undisputed, undefeated king of trash talk.
Who do you think would give you the hardest fight out of anybody on stage? Right here, the hardest hitting 145-pound, the real hardest hitting 145er right here. This guy TKOs people. When I knock people out, they don't move. They're not, who the is that guy? Who the is that?
If Conor McGregor walked away from the fight game at his peak, we would remember him as the ultimate rags to riches success story. An Irishman who took over the world with nothing but his fists, his words, and his loyal partner by his side. But he destroyed that. His overinflated ego, money over everything attitude, and addiction to drugs and alcohol became a toxic recipe for disaster. This led to an endless cycle of shameful behavior, a string of humiliating losses, and multiple sexual assault allegations, with one ending in a guilty verdict. Conor McGregor has truly lived up to his nickname, The Notorious, which means—
What the heck going on with Conor, man? Talking about some assault cases and all this, man. What the freak going on with Conor McGregor, man? That boy Conor got thick. What the freak going on with Conor? I'm looking at Conor, little nigga got thick, huh?
Verdict. Conor McGregor has truly lived up to his nickname, The Notorious, which means to be well known for something bad. Nigga. Today we are going to deep dive into the rise, fall, and future of Conor McGregor, the man who seemingly lost the biggest fight of his life, the fight against himself. Becoming a world champion fighter was somewhat of a destiny for Conor McGregor, who grew up on the south side of Dublin, Ireland. Ireland has a rich history of fighters from the ancient Celts to modern-day boxing champions. However, the pursuit of being a world-class fighter requires relentless training and money. Teenage McGregor worked 9 to 5 as a plumbing apprentice, a job that he hated, and took most of his time away from the gym training with John Kavanagh, until one day he decided to quit the job and pursue his dream full-time.
And pursue this dream of becoming a world champion in mixed martial arts, and that's what I did. I drove home. When I got home, my mother and father said, "How come you're not still at work?" And I said, "I'm never going to go back to that site another day in my life." And then all hell broke loose. But
This was a risky move, but his coaches and his family realized Conor was destined for greatness on February 17th, 2007, where at the age of 18, McGregor made his mixed martial arts debut in an amateur fight against Kieran Campbell. level. After destroying his opponent via TKO in the first round, he turned pro and was signed by the Irish Cage of Truth promotion. Conor was more motivated than ever, and nothing could distract him on this path to glory, besides one young woman named Dee Devlin, who would soon become the foundation he didn't realize he needed.
But we met at a friend's party like way back, and then the usual social media, a little bit of a like here and a like there, and then a message, and the new age way of me.
Which social media at the
Bebo.
time?
Yeah.
Before the world was cheering Conor's name, before he was a multi-millionaire, Dee Devlin was doing everything she could to support his dream.
He's never gonna lose, you know, in my eyes anyway. Definitely not. Yeah. Conor go training up in Rathkill till about 10. When SPG was up in Rathkill, he used to go till about 10. We just drive home, listen to music, and Conor be saying, look, one day, yeah, one day, and here we are.
Her loyalty
I mean, like I said, man, it's nothing better than, you know, a girl being on your side that's loyal, man. You know what I'm saying? Honest, I was saying, man, loyal, man, that goes beyond anything. You know, especially, like I said, the girl needs the looks, right? She needs the looks, but the girl got good looks, and your girl is loyal, man, and especially you knowing that this girl was down with you since the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Before the fame came, before the money came, she was there. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, and she actually helped you to get, you know what I mean, to where you actually at. So that right there, you know what I mean? Ain't no woman
did not go unnoticed, and he made it his mission to make sure she was taken care of.
That's a good look. My girlfriend has been there from the start. She's helped me throughout this career. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So definitely I look to spoil her. She does not work anymore. I essentially hired her. That to me was a special thing to be able to do. My girlfriend worked very hard throughout the years coming up and stuck by me when essentially I had absolutely nothing.
See what I'm saying? And that's what I be trying to tell y'all girls, man. You know what I'm saying? That's wifey material. That's when a man will actually wife you. You know what I mean? Because I told y'all, you becoming rich, you becoming famous. A lot of girls just do not care about being a little side chick. You know what I mean? That's all you ever going to be is a side chick. You know what I mean? You're never going to be a wife. You know what I mean? Because the men that you want don't want you. You know what I mean? So the girls be wanting the men with the money. The girls be wanting the men with the fame. You know what I mean? But they don't want them, bro. You know what I mean? Honestly. You feel me? Just keeping it real with you. So, like I said, man. Hey, man. Hey, dude. You got it good,
I had a dream that I was telling her.
Gotta stay
so
down,
for me to be able to take her out of work and give her everything she ever wanted and take her to see travel the world with her, that fills me with pride. So it keeps me going.
With Dee by his side and a small circle of highly skilled coaches and trainers, he would go on a 8-fight winning streak from 2011 to 2012. Conor won the Cage Warriors featherweight and lightweight championships, making him a two-division champion promotion. As you can imagine, Conor felt unstoppable.
Man down.
You put me in a round, people could throw bricks at me and call me every name under the sun. I'd still walk out there thinking I'm the Don Juan, you know what I mean? Thinking I'm the number one. That's the way I just feel. I don't give a f about nothing else, you know what I mean?
However, Conor did not get the chance to defend his 2 titles because he just earned himself a contract with the #1 combat sports promotion in the world, the UFC, and it only took 1 minute and 7 seconds to defeat his first opponent, Marcus Brimage.
Thank you very much.
The meteoric rise of McGregor had officially begun. Fight fans all around the world were shocked with their first impression of the young scrapper, but they loved it, specifically the Irish UFC fans. Ireland was more than just Conor's birthplace, it was his identity, and he vowed to honor the Fighting Irish legacy. And president of the UFC, Dana White, had dollar signs in his eyes. He could see Conor's potential star power.
Kid is totally relaxed. He's a beast. I'm impressed. Dresses well, handsome kid, seems pretty smart.
Conor quickly started steamrolling through the featherweight division.
I'm saying, gang, you talking about Conor, man? We ain't trying to hear none of that now, man. Don't talk about Conor started steamrolling through the featherweight division. You know what I mean? You starting off talking about Conor ain't the top 10 UFC fighter of all time, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. You really pissed me off saying that. Cause I was alive with that McGregor era, bro. I was a bad boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, even though he ain't got it now, bro. But don't you ever disrespect Conor McGregor's name like that again, boy. Freak wrong with you, nigga.
Point is what made him so
nigga say he went on top 10. I would say this is a nigga that don't watch UFC right here. obviously, I grew up watching UFC, bro. You know what I mean? So for you to say that, I ain't gonna lie, Conor made me want to put 5 fingers across your face. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real with you, gang. Don't ever try Conor McGregor like that again in your life, man. That boy's a legend, man. No matter how y'all feel about it, I don't know what the freak this nigga got going on now, but I know the prime Conor McGregor I seen, bro, was a monster. He was a monster now. I ain't gonna take that. Boy was a monster.
Abandoning this would ultimately lead to his demise. Most people remember him for his lethal left-hand power, but in the beginning, he relied on it less. His stance was wide and karate-like, complemented by unorthodox movement, constantly bouncing in and out of range, using lateral movements to create angles for his strikes. He remained light on his feet, which allowed him to quickly deliver spinning back kicks and front snap kicks to the body. As if that wasn't scary enough, he could read his opponents while remaining calm, seemingly unfazed while standing toe-to-toe with another warrior. But that calm and collected confidence quickly turned into cockiness, specifically around the build-up for his 2014 fight against Dustin Poirier.
His weakness is obviously his chin. Don't get me wrong, I like the kid. He's a quiet little hillbilly from the back ass of nowhere. You know, I've nothing against the guy, you know what I mean? I'm sure he grew up in a circus or a fair, or, you know, he's a nice little kid. Cletus, or, you know, his cousin's probably named Cletus or something. I don't know. He's a nice kid. His chin is going to be cracked, and it's going to be cracked early. Every single one in my way is in trouble here. So this is just the next step. Dustin's little pea head is going to get removed. It's going to get put into my collection, and I'm going to get on my way to the goal.
The thing that made Conor's trash talk so special was that he backed it up. He invented the Mystic Mac prediction, where he would describe the outcome before each match. He told the world that Chad Mendes was too small, and that he would have a few good scrambles, but then Conor would pick him apart, and ultimately become the interim featherweight champion. And he did just that. He also received $3,285,000 for his win over Mendes, solidifying a true rags to riches story.
When you signed to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties. We're rich, baby. So don't say you would not take that fight, because you would take that fight like everyone else up here would take the fight against me if it was offered, regardless of belts or any of that shit. I'm the money fight in the male shit at all weight divisions, so everybody else up here.
But even though the belt was wrapped around his waist, it had an asterisk next to it, as he was technically the interim champ, so his real undisputed chance at glory would be against Jose Aldo, the UFC 194.
Oh my god, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, this was sealed right here, y'all. This was sealed. I couldn't believe he did Jose Aldo like that. We already know how Jose Aldo, that's a bad boy with them gloves, boy. Jose, Max Holloway and all them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe this nigga knocked out Jose Aldo this fast. Bro, I was like, what? This nigga knocked out Jose Aldo like this, man.
Real undisputed chance at glory would be against Jose Aldo. Like that, the UFC 194 press conference was held in
Jose Aldo.
where not a single person was rooting for Jose.
When I got here, it was raining, but I brought the sun with me. Yeah, I'm the champion, I'm the king of Dublin, yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, Dana White love Conor, but he loved that nigga. He loved that nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you. That nigga was bringing so many eyes. You gotta realize, bro, he was bringing so many eyes, bro, to UFC. It wasn't no popular fighter like Conor McGregor during that time, bro. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't only bringing the US, bro. He had the whole island behind him, bro. Man was the most popular fighter in the world at the time, bro.
When I got here, it was raining.
Conor McGregor, that was something special to see.
Aldo was clearly fighting a different beast. He had never felt this kind of pressure. Conor got into Aldo's head so badly before the fight that he was able to perfectly predict how he would finish Jose.
I think the right hand could be, if you look at I felt when we stared down, I felt his right hand was twitching a little bit, but it was a subtle tell for me. He is ready to unload that right hand, but I feel that could be a downfall for him. If he lets that right hand go, I will not be there.
Conor practiced his step-back left-hand counterpunch to Jose Aldo's right
that's
hand.
Crazy. Like, bro, used to back it up.
Happened in the real fight. In just 13 seconds, Jose threw a right, McGregor stepped back and countered with his left, and knocked out Jose Aldo, officially making him the UFC featherweight champion. Like that. The craziest part about this win is that Jose Aldo was undefeated for nearly 7 years straight.
Jose Aldo, like, bro, I was like, what? Like, I couldn't understand. This is like Jose Aldo. This is a bad nigga. This is Hall of Fame nigga. Like I couldn't believe that,
knocked out
bro.
Jose Aldo, officially making him the UFC featherweight champion. The craziest part about this win is that Jose Aldo was undefeated for nearly 7 years straight at this point, successfully defending his title 9 times, only to be made looking like an amateur against McGregor. Conor earned the respect of MMA fans. For those that thought he was all talk, his win against Aldo made it difficult for anyone to argue against him being a world-class fighter. The fact that he was actually lethal, combined with his electricity on the microphone, brought millions of new UFC fans in. His fight against Mendes and Aldo each secured over 1 million pay-per-view buys, earning the UFC about $60 million per fight. But even though he was praised as unstoppable by his fans, some top fighters saw him as a clown, undeserving of the hype.
How do you feel about it?
I ain't gonna lie, Diaz gave him the fight, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Diaz was, even though Diaz got built the booty sometimes, even though Diaz got them paws put on him, beat the brakes off of Diaz. You know what I'm saying? Even though Diaz, bro, used to get them paws put on him, you know what I'm saying? He used to put the paws on niggas too. But, you know, nigga was a menace, though. This nigga was a tough son of a gun right here, boy.
You're taking everything I work for. I'm gonna fight you. You know what's the real fight? What's the real money fight is me.
Many fans reminisce on Conor's beef with Nate Diaz as peak entertainment, both inside the octagon and the trash talk moments were iconic due to Nate's reputation as a brute street fighter holding on to his last few brain cells, and Conor firing off razor-sharp, witty clapbacks.
To talk about money, because we are the business network, and the business.
Gotta stay humble, though, man.
I'll
take over from here, Nate. You can bounce. Take a coffee break, Nate. And by coffee break, I mean bring me my coffee.
No. They want you to give us a quick count to 10, both of you gentlemen, if you don't mind, just if you wouldn't mind counting to 10.
Nate can only count to 5. Yeah.
Nate was immune to Conor's mind games, mostly because he didn't understand them, and that showed in their battle at UFC 196, where the two put on an absolute brawl before Diaz shocked the world, submitting Conor with a rear naked choke and bringing his momentum to a screeching halt.
Yes.
UFC 196 was the most successful pay-per-view in promotional history at that point,
Diaz
securing 1.32 million buys, which meant that Conor had helped build the UFC to its highest level, only to lose at the top of the mountain. But Conor was the UFC's golden boy, and the promotion seemed to make business decisions that were in his best interest. Within 2 days of losing, the rematch was set up, and 6 months later, McGregor would get a chance to re-establish himself as the unstoppable Irish beast.
I'm the whole of I'm ready for whatever he has to bring. Your whole team, little crackhead ass. You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing. Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing. Not one of you will do nothing. Get the fuck out of here.
Conor, being the underdog, built more hype than ever seen before in the UFC. Droves of new fight fans started pouring in, and the event broke the record they just set, making UFC 202 the highest selling pay-per-view with 1.65 million buys. It is still the second highest selling event they have ever done. The fight was a vicious blow-for-blow bloodbath. Conor still had never been knocked down in his entire career, proving that he didn't just deliver damage, he could take it too. The fight came down to a judge's decision, and many still debate that Nate actually won, but Conor was awarded the victory, successfully redeeming himself at the peak of the UFC mountain.
Surprise, mother. The king is back!
Conor had even more negotiating power. The UFC was at his fingertips. Instead of going back down to featherweight to defend his belt, he demanded a title shot against Eddie Alvarez in the lightweight division, where a win would make him the first fighter in history to hold 2 championship belts at the same time. The fight was made quickly, scheduled less than 3 months after his win over Diaz, again proving the UFC was prioritizing his interests. And during the build-up for this fight, Eddie made a crucial mistake, trying to go back and forth with Conor on the mic.
I feel Eddie.
I've nothing against him. Be careful. I've nothing against Edward. Oh, what you gonna do? You gonna do something over there? Yeah, shut your mouth. I run New York. I run this hill. And please did not predict. I'm gonna carry your tail you inside 1 round. His question is, why you talking? That's his question. What the f*** talking?
He said that I watched the Conor versus Floyd fight. Who the freak didn't watch that fight? Like, come on, bro. Who the freak didn't watch that fight? And I ain't gonna lie, a couple of rounds, Conor actually was doing good too. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Conor actually was doing good, bro. I didn't think he could beat Floyd, but he surprised a lot of niggas with that boxing, though. I ain't gonna cap. First couple rounds, he was giving it to Floyd, though. But who the freak didn't watch that fight? Bro, I feel like the whole world watched that fight.
Say it like it is, you're blessed. You're blessed that I chose you. You're blessed that I chose to whoop your ass next.
No, I came for an apology from him. I want an apology for saying my wife and kids. Suck these big artists.
This was trash-talking Conor at his peak. Funny, exciting, unpredictable, and still capable of backing up his words.
Don't give up what Eddie says. The Irish are back. We've taken back control of New York City. I run New York City. I'm a fucking pimp. Rocking Gucci Mink. And without me, this whole shit sing.
They practically sold out Madison Square Garden just to do the weigh-in. The magnitude of Conor McGregor's fan base was unprecedented, and surely anyone else would implode with—
Why this nigga always like worldwide? Nah, like everything I'm saying, bro, you disagree with. Like, is this his SRT Dre dude? Can somebody ban this nigga? Or this nigga name look familiar or something? I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna cap to you. Everything I've been saying, cuz you just been disagreeing. I don't know what the freak wrong with this nigga. You feel me? Everybody I see with a name Dre, I'm just freaking banning. I'm not gonna. Everybody with a name Dre. If you ain't that cupcake nigga, you better not name yourself that nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. If you're not cupcake, you know what I'm saying? If you're not that bro, if you're not him, you better not name yourself Dre. Anybody that names yourself that name is banned immediately. You know what I'm saying? Any Amarettas, any of that, you're banned. Straight like that. You better not name yourself like Cupcake.
With nervousness, but on the historic night of UFC 205, Conor looked as relaxed and focused as ever, knocking down Eddie 3 times in the first round, and then ultimately getting the TKO finish in
booty on that nigga
to become the first champ in UFC.
But he's not top 10 though. You see what I'm saying? But he's not top 10 though. You see what I'm saying? You see the stupidness, you see the stupidity of your video, man. But he's not top 10, man. Come on.
Finish in round 2 to become the first champ in UFC history.
I've spent a lot of time, Joe, slaying everybody in the company. Backstage, I'm starting fights off everybody. I've ridiculed everyone on the roster. I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants. That's what I dreamed into reality. Oh, that looks good.
This moment, raising the 2 belts, was without
Say who number 1? John Bones Jones, bro.
Sure, he made enemies with his relentless trash talk, cocky
John
demeanor, and favoritism within the UFC. His impact on mixed martial arts positively affected everyone. More exposure, more fans pouring in, which led to more money and more business opportunities. Some loved
That's a
him,
no-brainer
some
right
loved
there.
to hate him, but you had to respect him. But that respect was about to slowly diminish, leading to the demise of one of the most electrifying entertainers in sports history. For the first time in his career, McGregor started to slow down, and it made sense. He took no breaks on his ascent to the top, and he was expecting a baby with his unwavering girlfriend Dee. But since he refused to defend the featherweight belt that he won back in 2015, he was forced to vacate his title, ending his time as the 2-division champion. His agent said, no matter what happens, nobody will ever be able to take those belts away from him. Nobody has beat him for those belts. So the way I look at it is, whatever business decision Conor decides to make, it's a smart one. It became abundantly clear that smart business decisions were Conor's top priority. No true champion would just let their title be stripped from them, but Conor was made an offer he simply could not refuse. An exhibition fight against the undefeated boxing world champion Floyd Mayweather. One singular bout that was set to make him more money than his entire UFC career combined.
No cap.
At the very beginning,
you gotta be real with that. Like, bro made hella money off that. You know what I mean? So it's like, nigga, F them belts. Nigga, I would have said the same thing. Nigga, F them belts. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. What them belts is gonna sit there? You know what I mean? This nigga finna make a freaking...
him more money.
Nigga finna make the most money he ever made in his freaking life.
His entire UFC career combined. From the very beginning, real fight fans looked at the McGregor vs. Mayweather bout as a cash grab. Floyd was a retired 40-year-old and Conor was not a boxer. It was a win-win situation for McGregor. Either he knocks out Floyd and gives the undefeated legend his first loss, or Conor loses and everyone says, yeah, well, he's not a boxer. The build-up was one of the most over-the-top and chaotic promotional tours in combat sports history. history, with 4 different massive press conferences where the two did these long, drawn-out speeches and stood toe-to-toe, seemingly pretending to hate each other. It felt way less genuine and personal than any beef we have seen Conor in before. It was mildly entertaining, but mostly awkward and exhaustive.
50 strippers on his payroll, this man has. What the f is he doing with that strip club? Carrying a school bag on stage. What are you doing with a school bag on stage? You can't even read. The f***ing fans can't fight for you. Shut your f***ing mouth. A 40-year-old man. What the f***? He was wearing high heels yesterday.
Despite this being a money play, Conor did take his training seriously, and he did show some impressive boxing prowess against a legend. But realistically, he had no chance in lasting 12 rounds in a different sport, and he was defeated via TKO in the 10th round.
Slap the start of that nigga though.
In lasting 12 rounds in a different sport, and he was defeated via TKO in the 10th round. Conor never looked happier to lose a fight. That's because he knew he just made history again, but this time, he was set for life. This was the second highest selling pay-per-view in history, with 4.3 million buys, generating over $600 million in revenue.
Oh my god, 600 freaking million, bro. What the freak, man?
History with 4.3.
One thing, look at Mayweather, bro. You can't tell Mayweather. That's why Mayweather is just one of the richest athletes ever, bro. Look, Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Then McGregor, like Mayweather. You got. That's why they made so much money, because you got 2 of the most viewed athletes going against each other, bro. They knew that was gonna hit. I'm surprised they didn't hit harder than Pacquiao versus Mayweather, bro. Ain't gonna cap.
Million buys, generating over $600 million in revenue. The Nevada State Athletic Commission announced that Mayweather reportedly earned around $300 million in total from the fight, while McGregor earned around $100 million. And on top of that, Conor was announcing his next big business venture that would generate him even more money than the Floyd fight.
Introducing Proper Number 12 Irish Apple, a delicious blend of my award-winning tasty Proper Number 12 Irish whiskey.
After securing a lifelong fortune and reaching the pinnacle of MMA and boxing, many wondered what Conor would do next, because if he returned to fight in the UFC, there was only one fight that made sense, and that man was Khabib Nurmagomedov, the undefeated lightweight contender who had a fight style that many felt was too much for Conor to handle. Khabib was the most dominant wrestler the UFC had ever seen. He mauls his opponents until they are exhausted.
Nigga fought bears when he was little.
Conor is a vicious striker whose weakness is in his ground game and cardio. The result predictions were simple. Either Khabib can't handle Conor's lethal strikes, or Conor can't escape Khabib's dominant wrestling.
I'm gonna keep it real. I'll never join the UFC. Like, honestly, I'll never box. Like, I'm not trying to get my head knocked in. I'm trying to have my brain working. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to have no fat old ears. So I'm too fly to be knocked up like that. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, every day, just getting knocked up, I'm good, man. And I know fat ears. You know what I mean? No brain damage.
Beginning of 2018, Conor was stripped of his other belt, the UFC lightweight title, due to inactivity. It had been 2 years since his last fight, and he was preventing guys like Khabib from getting a shot at the belt. Additionally, an unexpected personal rivalry formed between the two after Khabib pressed one of Conor's friends, Artem Lobov. Artem called Khabib a pussy for pulling out from fights a couple of times and said that a true champion fights no matter what, and that he would slap Khabib when he saw him. Khabib and his crew approached Artem, where Khabib slapped Artem multiple times and told him to keep his mouth shut. Conor retaliated on behalf of his friend in the most dangerous way possible, bringing 30 or 40 of his goons to attack a bus that Khabib was on as he was exiting the venue, and throwing a metal dolly through the window which injured a different UFC fighter. This bus was jam-packed with other fighters, press, UFC employees that were all caught in the middle of the chaos. Khabib was confused by Conor's antics. He had a very simple way of settling their differences.
I'm gonna come, just send me a message. Of course, they know a lot of security here, media, it's gonna be big, you understand, they come with 30 people. Come here, send me a message, like location, I'm gonna come, whatever you want, doesn't matter, Ireland, New York, Brooklyn or Moscow, doesn't matter. Tell me, where?
A warrant was issued for McGregor's arrest, and he turned himself into the authorities later that day, with charges of assault and criminal mischief being pressed. It ended with a mere slap on the wrist, a $50,000 fine, and the right to travel freely after bail. Dana White described McGregor's actions as the most disgusting thing in UFC's history. Dana, he's going to jail. Most disgusting thing ever happened in the UFC. Also, Dana, let's promo the shit out of this and book Conor Khabib ASAP, with Conor's whiskey brand being the sponsor. Khabib was hungry for the fight against Conor. His management said he doesn't like the guy, we don't like the guy, we don't like his team, and we don't like what he represents. Khabib was a different type of beast. He didn't care about the hype, he was not interested in talking or Conor's antics. He just wanted to fight.
We have to make him humble.
You know Conor's in New York right now, right? Like, what happens if the two of you see each other on the street?
Fight.
Fight in the street?
Fight, of course.
Not for money, just to fight?
Of course, we're gonna fight.
Who wins the street fight, you or Conor?
But I never always fight in the street.
No matter where it is, you're gonna...
How many times he tap? His tap machine. You know, if we're gonna meet somewhere, we're gonna fight 100%.
Conor, on the other hand, was the most obnoxious we had ever seen him, which was likely due in part to the alcohol consumption.
It's shooting the Bush's birthday!
I'm not underestimating.
Here's a guy over there in a proper sweat. Happy birthday,
Like,
shine the Bush.
I don't drink.
Why don't you drink?
I don't drink.
Why don't you drink?
I never drink.
Get my backwards. Yeah, dead when I get me hands on you, do you hear me? Oh, get me and the oldest Boston animal Dana was the OG of the fight game.
Conor was trying to play psychological games with Khabib, insulting his father, his country, his religion, desperately trying.
That's why stuff went down. Y'all gotta understand after Khabib and I never get this nigga name right. Khabib, nigga, whatever, nigga. You know who the freak I'm talking about, nigga. After them niggas fought, bro, it was a huge brawl after. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas fought, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, niggas probably seen that coming, though. You feel me? You can't disrespect nobody getting personal now. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, you know, now you can talk how you want to talk. You can say you're going to beat a nigga and all, but attacking a nigga getting personal, that's different right there. Personal.
Psychological games with Khabib, insulting his father.
Nigga knew Conor wasn't going to win this, though. I ain't going to lie to you. Nigga knew Conor wasn't going to win this.
His country, his religion, desperately trying to get a rise out of Habib.
I never want to take picture with someone. Doesn't matter. It's president.
Are you disrespecting your president Vladimir Putin?
No, why not?
Are you disrespecting your president Vladimir Putin?
No.
Explain what you mean. Are you disrespecting?
Okay, I'm gonna explain. Sit. I'm gonna explain.
Fake rap. Like I said, fake respect out of fear.
Okay,
That's all these men are known for. They were chased from the land to the edge of cliffs. My family, my bloodline, the McGregor clan, we stood and we fought. We fought the English Empire. So much so that our name was banished for 100 years by King James at the time.
Okay, why you guys change your language? Shut your mouth. You guys have your own language. What's wrong with you?
No matter what type of spectacle Conor tried to make, Khabib's direct, straightforward energy just made Conor look foolish.
For me, this is more than defend my title. You know, for me, it's personal. Honestly, for me, it's personal.
Yet, despite Conor's antics, he was clearly the fan favorite, as thousands of boos rained from above anytime Khabib spoke.
First of all, I want to say, Alhamdulillah, God gave me everything. Alhamdulillah. I know you got this, you don't like this. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna smash your boy, guys.
Oh, shoot. That's what I'm saying. No, you can do about it either. Tomorrow, I'm going to smash your boy, God. I'm going to smash your boy.
You don't like this. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna smash your boy, guys. I'm gonna smash your boy.
The hype for this fight was unimaginable, and the UFC had predictions that this was going to be the highest selling pay-per-view of all time. When the two men stepped into the ring at UFC 229, there was no more time to talk. Conor did press forward in the beginning, but he came in flat-footed, anticipating Khabib's takedowns. He was absolutely mauled in the first 2 rounds, with Khabib nearly TKOing him. Conor was breathing heavy, exhausted, looking like he was regretting every bit of trash talk. Some argue he actually won the 3rd round, but it's only likely because Khabib was resting. At the end of round 3, Khabib said, "Let's talk now," and Conor replied, "It's only business," which Khabib interpreted as him waving a white flag, a sign of weakness, begging and pleading for his life. Ultimately, Khabib decided to finally finish this thing and submitted Conor via neck crank in the 4th round. He said he would make Conor tap, and that's exactly what he did. Then, all hell broke loose. Khabib jumped out of the cage after the bell and attacked Conor's team. Then Khabib's team jumped in the ring and sucker punched Conor. We knew this fight was personal, but we didn't know it would get this bad. Khabib was acting out of character, and his behavior was heavily demonized by the UFC, resulting in a $2 million fine. And again, Conor constantly did the same things, if not worse, but it was used as promotion. As Conor arrived back to the locker room, he burst into tears. He didn't just lose, he got absolutely demolished, and he made a fool of himself along the way.
Can you describe the emotions after a loss like that?
You know, it stings real bad about this in the fight business. I've been on the end of many defeats in my life, and I've rose back, so I will not shy away from it. I will not make excuses for it. I will assess it and come back.
I am gonna make him humble. I am gonna teach him respect. He stood by his words. Khabib, the true champ. This fight broke the UFC all-time pay-per-view record at 2.4 million buys, and it's hard to see anything topping those numbers anytime soon. If Conor won, he could have easily retired and be considered one of the greatest of all time.
Still is the greatest,
bro. 30, and retiring at a loss could not be the end of his legacy, not the illustrious champ, larger-than-life hero image he crafted for himself. But how was he going to compete against other UFC lightweights? Khabib exposed his weaknesses. His cardio was substandard, making him unable to go hard into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds. He was sleeping in silk pajamas and driving Maybachs. Other guys were hungry, begging for a shot. And on top of all of that, he was focused on